yes. You know, self-inquiry is a lot easier than one thinks, but it reminds me, this topic, to just point out anyone that, if you hear somebody speaking like, this spiritual practice is the best, or even this religion's the best, it's the only way. Anytime you start hearing that, that's mind talking. That means these people haven't really realized what they're imagining that they realized. You know, for me, self-inquiry leads to the non-duality experience. You can't practice non-duality. How are you going to practice it? What do you? I'll tell you how you practice it. You sound like the parrots that say nothing exists, nothing's real. Oh, that's apparent. All that stuff. So, do you want to do that? That's not good. Self-inquiry, when you start to challenge how the mind has identified, yeah, the mind has told you who you are for so long, that identity you have with those thoughts, when you start to challenge that, that's self-inquiry. Automatically, you come into you can say a greater, more universal space and awareness. You start to realize you're more universal and not personal. You can say that's a non-dual experience, you know? But you can't practice non-duality. Self-inquiry leads to non-duality. That's my take. So how do you practice this thing? This is the beauty of self-inquiry. I mean, this spiritual practice this is what's so good about it, is that you can practice it anywhere, anytime. I can practice it right now as I'm talking. See, I'm talking, there's words, there's a little, if necessary, thinking going on, but there's something that's not. There's something that's aware of this human matrix that's talking. There's a little space. This is the whole thing. Self-inquiry gives space. This is what we need. Space, or another way of saying it, another word for space is self-awareness. Self-inquiry does that. So self-inquiry would be like, like, let's say I'm practicing it as I'm speaking now. How would I do that? How would I practice self-inquiry? As I'm talking, something remembers. You can call it self-remembering also. Something's remembering that, wait a minute, like, you can say, who am I? Or you got to find the right words to use that you know, synergize with your temperament and character and constitution, etc. So some say, yeah, who am I? Where am I? But here's how my natural words are that I practice self-inquiry. So I'm talking, I'm making the video. Something says, "Are you aware though that that the making of this video and talking is happening inside your formless self?" This is the best way I can articulate it. That's how I do it. I apply. Then you can apply that to anything. I can apply that to everything. When I leave here, I'm walking down the trail. Do you know that you're like walking inside your own deeper self, or your own universal self? I don't have to formulate that whole sentence, but I'm just saying. You see, this is what I do. Something just, that's the check-in. Like, oh, something's happening, seemingly. Talking, or I'm listening, or I'm doing, or I'm fighting, or I'm loving, or I'm something. But all that's happening inside something, that's because there's awareness of that happening. Just that check-in, you keep doing that over and over and over and over again. And then you don't put a time limit on it. You don't say, I've been doing this, let's see, I did it now 100 times a day for 2 weeks. And let me judge my progress. And do I have a little more peace now than 2 weeks ago? Oh no, actually I feel worse than I did 2 weeks. Don't do that. That's the mind doing that. You got to trust this purging process that's going to happen. This is what a spiritual practice does. It has to purge everything, all these energetic knots and repressions and ignorance that's hiding in there. That might come up for a while when we start this practice. This is how you know it's working. Doesn't mean it's not working. It means it is working. This is why it helps to have this. This is why I make these videos, to remind. We need reminding, because the mind can come strong. It wants to sabotage this spiritual practice. It loves it. If you're just where I in Ecuador, they have these little yoga groups and stuff, and they're not really doing anything. I mean, it's cool. They're okay. It's better than robbing banks, but like the ego loves that. That kind of, yeah, I'm doing some yoga, and some yoga is authentic, like some people. All right, just saying. I'm doing my yoga. I do my yoga every morning, and then I meditate for 15 minutes. Okay, I'm doing good. I'm doing a spiritual practice. The mind loves that. You're probably not gonna have any real catharsis, or like another video I made, you're probably not gonna feel like you're losing your mind. This is because this is soft. This is cool. It's okay. It's okay. I used to do that, and try to find some yoga girl and whatever. This is real deal stuff. This self-inquiry and non-duality pointings. Like this stuff will cause a shift. And combine that with plant medicine. Caution, be careful. So that's what I like about the self-inquiry. It just gets right to it. Just gets right to it. I'm watching myself. Something's watching. Who am I, though? What is this awareness thing that's watching itself? Don't answer the question with a mental answer. You just ponder that. Just sit in that. Like, damn, I can't see this thing. Like, I mean, I can feel it, but then I can feel myself feeling it. Like, what's going on here? This is the mystery of life, the mystery of consciousness. So those that are ready for this level, this practice, this pointing, good, welcome. I feel like sometimes a lot of people get here when they've tried everything else. I know that was me. I've just tried everything, I was just combing the planet, India and everywhere, and trying all these different spiritual practices and aesthetic practices and tantric practices and practice, and something just got tired after a while. Like what am I practicing? Like, what am I trying to do here? I'm practicing, like, contemplate that stuff. What am I trying to do? Where am I trying to go? Like, what's happening? I'm trying to find God, but what do you mean? Where's God? Is he not here right now? The books are telling me my essence is God. Well, then can't I just be God then? Do I got to really waste a bunch of time and do all these and dry fast myself to death and everything, and do, ego death trips on medicine that might make me crazy? Do I got to do all that to find something that's already here? That organic question came. It came organically after a while. And then I found self-inquiry teachings, and I was ready, and I was just absorbing it, and I like it. You do it automatically. You don't stop doing it. You don't like the people, I don't need to practice anymore. It's just mind talking. This becomes the most favorite thing you do. What else are you going to do? What are you going to do? Just, spout things to people? Spout wise? There was a movie, U-Turn. Nick Nolte, he was just chilling all the time. And Sean Penn's like, what do you do, old man? Just sit here and spout wise? I like that line. So you don't stop practicing, but it's not a practice after a while. I mean, you can call it a practice. You can say whatever you want when you're free. You don't get caught up in stuff. You're not trying anymore to look like a self-inquiry or non-dual person. And you don't criticize other people. Do I criticize the non-dual people? I criticize the ego that talks through them. You don't think that somehow what you're practicing is better than you. Like, if you're a self-inquiry non-dual person, you don't secretly or overtly feel or declare that that's better than bhakti or devotional practice or religion. You don't do that because you don't do it because you're not supposed to do it. That's fake. You don't do it because you realize that God is universal and he's created so many different temperaments and characters, because his cosmic show is so diverse that there's all these different paths that take the localized consciousness back to its universal essence. You see that clear, so you appreciate it. I had a really good friend as a girl. She was a girl years ago. I wonder if I can find her. I'm in Florida now. I don't know. She was super aesthetic, meaning she was a deep devotee of Yogananda. And that's more of an aesthetic practice, the very, with meditation and their energy exercises they do every morning. And she's just very aesthetic. Compared to me, I'm like, I'm more tantric in the sense that I don't deny anything. That's always been my way. But I bring consciousness into what I'm doing. If I want to transform or transcend something, I just pay more attention. I accept that this desire and habit was there, and so now I want to bring consciousness into it and taste the poison of it and taste the so-called pleasure, and then let that consciousness transform. That's my way. Whereas an aesthetic is more like, don't do that. No, I'm going to be disciplined. So it looked like an oxymoron, me and her. But man, we got along so good. The love in the heart was so pure. I totally accept what she was doing. I understood it's the play of life. She accepted what I was, my style, and we got along really good. I'll just end on this, just kind of a funny story. The relationship was so pure, I didn't want to mess it up. She'd only been with one man in her life, a husband, because she's Indian, and she wasn't with anybody. So of course there's going to be some desire to experience some physical intimacy with another guy. We talked about it and stuff, and I didn't want to do it. I knew it. I knew that it just wasn't right. I wasn't going to be able to be there for her in a way that maybe she didn't realize that she would need, but I knew she would need. So we kept it like that. But this is the best part. This is the funny part. I gave a little background to tell you this. She finally ended up getting a boyfriend. Now, look at this. I was in Bali or somewhere, and I had to come home for a few weeks. I went up to see her in Fort Lauderdale. She had a boyfriend. He's not allowed to sleep with her at night because they're taking it slow, which I'm a total proponent of. If you get a new relationship, yeah, take 6 months at least, or a year, even better. Don't have sex. See what you're dealing with. So then if there's not matching, you can get out of it. This is smart. This is wisdom. So she was doing that. So he couldn't sleep with her at night. Well, guess what? Hotels are expensive here in Florida, and I didn't really want to pay $100. So I could sleep with her at night. She let me stay at her house, but he couldn't. He's the boyfriend. But here's the best part. We're all students of self-realization, and there was acceptance there. He understood. He knew. He knows her because she's honest. Anybody that could see her knows that. She's not working him. He knows she's not secretly doing something with me at night. He understood. And I just thought, I don't know, man. I really like that story because it's rare. That's like golden age level, isn't it? So hope you got something from this video. Let me know.